and particular. In fact, Vivian's particularity seemed to woo Zara instead of scare her like it did du jour employees. "It's really helpful to know exactly what a parent is looking for," Zara said as she rose to her feet. Jules glanced at Vivian with a rueful smile. "Vivian's pretty good at knowing exactly what she wants from an employee." Vivian looked decidedly unapologetic. Zara flashed Jules a grin that showed off her perfect teeth. "Well, as her assistant, you probably appreciate the benefits of that." Jules opened her mouth to say, "It's a mixed blessing," when the truth caught up with her. She wasn't Vivian's assistant anymore. She'd been fired a week ago by Mark Tavio, chairman of the Koenig Publishing Group, and Vivian's asshole boss. So now it would look weird to outsiders that she was helping out with this whole nanny process. Sweat broke out under her arms. What should she say? She didn't want to lie. Not exactly. But she and Vivian hadn't discussed this. They didn't have a cover story. Now that she was thinking about it, that was so stupid. Why hadn't they worked something out? Now Vivian's face had closed off, inscrutable, as she gazed at Jules, while Zara waited expectantly. She was letting Jules take the lead. Jules prided herself in thinking on her feet, but all she could manage to say now was, "It took a while, but there are definitely benefits to clarity." "For sure." Zara slung her Parker Clay tote over her shoulder. "It was very nice to meet both of you. Miss Carlisle, thank you for your time." "Of course. Julia, will you walk Zara to the door?" Vivian's tone was cooler than it had been before. It made Jules frown as she led Zara to the front door. What was Vivian's problem? Jules was only being professional. She took Zara's business card, waved goodbye, and then turned back to the house. Time to find out what Vivian's attitude was about. When she returned to the den, Vivian was perched on the edge of the love seat, hands folded in her lap and clearly ready for a conversation with a capital C. Might as well beat her to the punch. Jules slid a hand through her thick, dark hair as she approached. "We should have prepped in advance." "Prepped what, exactly?" Jules sat next to Vivian on the love seat. Normally she'd reach out for Vivian to settle against her, but that didn't seem to be on the menu right now. "Our cover story about our relationship. Sorry I was clumsy earlier. Our cover story?" Vivian's tone was as flat as a Kansas highway. Her eyes hadn't warmed up one jot either. What was her problem? "Well, yes," Jules said. "I can't exactly snuggle up to you and give you a big kiss." "What a shame," Vivian said. "That's exactly the sort of gesture I love. Julia, I agree there's something we need to discuss, but I wouldn't have called it a cover story." Zara's business card crumpled in Jules's palm. "What would you call it?" "I know we're in an unusual situation," Vivian said tightly, "but I've never been interested in living a lie." "I didn't lie," Jules protested. "I didn't say I'm your assistant." That was so weak, and Vivian didn't let her get away with it. "No, but you let her think it. You're not my assistant, you're my girlfriend. I'm not saying it's a problem right now, but if we hire her, I'm not interested in pretending to be something we're not." Even in a fraught moment, hearing the words, "you're my girlfriend," from Vivian Carlisle's lips sent an uncontrollable thrill through Jules. Only a month ago, that would have seemed completely impossible. Was Jules to be blamed for wanting to protect their fledgling relationship? "So what do you want her to think?" Jules asked. "Vivian, it's still too early to come out in public. You just got divorced, and I just stopped working for you. Plus, we haven't been together for long." "I'm not talking about taking you to the Met benefit," Vivian said in exasperation. "Good domestic help is known for being discreet, and if Zara is as qualified as she seems, she's not going to blab to page 6 if we hire her. You don't have to tiptoe around our relationship in my house of all places." Put like that, Jules's caution did seem extreme. The thought of being out to anyone, including the nanny, still made her blush. Ordinarily, it wouldn't have bothered her at all. Ordinarily didn't include your lover being pregnant, freshly divorced, and, oh yeah, the most powerful person in the fashion industry, to say nothing of that person being your former boss. People would talk so much shit about both Jules and Vivian for this. Jules would be alternately a victim and a gold digger, while Vivian would be alternately a predator and a sucker. Nobody would see it as a relationship of equals who are going into it with clear eyes and level heads.